refused. And they did the investigation. And they invited Mr. Nwabudike 3 different times.
Oh, really?
Yes.
They invited him, folks, right here, they invited him 3 different times, okay? Uh-huh.
They invited him 3 different times. They said, look, we are interested in what has happened, and we have opened a bar investigation inquiry. Come and give yourself the story. He refused. On the first time, he refused. The second time, he refused. The bar went to the extent of publishing his invitation in the newspapers.
Oh, wow. Please just share this video. Yes, thank you. Okay.
So they published the information inviting him to a sitting of the bar's committee. He didn't come. When he didn't come, the bar had no alternative but to take an action to review all of the documents that were before it. So let's go into the documents and the laws surrounding all of it.
Please.
There is a principle of law that says, if you start something, an act, and the foundation of whatever you do is not correct, it means that every other thing that follows after that foundation is null and void.
Right.
It is as if it was not right in the first place. And so all the subsequent actions should not have happened in the first place.
Right. Wow.
So the legal term we use is void ab initio. That means it was wrong from the very beginning. So because it was wrong from the very beginning, it cannot be right at the end. Another way lawyers interpret again is that what is done, not done legally, is not done at all. It's canceled. That is where the bar took its authority from. It goes down to Mr. Nwabudike's claim of citizenship. He says it was granted him by a court. He says the civil law court way back in 1982. In 1982, there was no civil law court. The military had taken over.
That is correct. Yeah.
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 Well,
socialized.
Socialized. The military had taken over and the military raised all the courts, including the Supreme Court. So we had a people's courts all over, the people's probate court, the people's civil law court, or the people's law court. That's what we had. But he brought a certificate that said he got it in 1982 from the civil law court. That's the first fraud. Wrong. You lie. Then the next thing the bar look at, and I look at because I follow the proceedings, is birth dates. In his law school documents, he has a different birth date. In his citizenship ID card document, he has a different birth date. On his marriage certificate, he has a different birth date. If you take all of his birth dates to concern, it means that he was underage.
Yes.
When he applied for citizenship, it will look at his document. And under our law, an infant cannot on his own apply or do anything before the law. If you are below the age of 18, you cannot do anything before the law. If you have an interest before the law, you have to be represented by somebody. You must have a guardian. So the question now to Mr. Nwabudike, who was your guardian in Liberia in 1982? The bar association didn't go into all of that because he didn't come forward.
Right.
So they just dealt with what they had before them. But if he has been subjected to further scrutiny, interrogations, and all of that, that was one of the questions that would have been asking. Now, there are two things the bar association could have done. Take him to the Supreme Court or take the decision that he took. But the bar association, in their wisdom, he said, look, but this man has committed fraud on his face. His very citizenship document is not good. So why should we even waste our time to go to the Supreme Court?
Correct.
We'll just take the decision that we have to take. Don't need to waste our time to go to the Supreme Court because He says he's a citizen. His citizen document doesn't even exist. It cannot be found anywhere in the laws or in the records of Liberia. So where is the citizenship? So these questions come to mind. If you are a citizen of a country, you must what? Take up residence in that country.
Correct.
So you were 16-year-old, you became citizen of Liberia. The first question that comes to you, so who was the guardian that took you to the court?
Correct.
Where did you live when you were 16-year-old in Liberia if you took up residence? We don't know. Which school did you go to? Who were your schoolmates? Where did you graduate from high school? Where are the high school pictures? What are the high school documents? But in his own statement, he said he left Liberia after he became citizen.
Correct.
Then he came back after several years.
Correct.
Then you were not a citizen because you weren't a resident in Liberia.
Right.
You didn't take up residence. And I met Nwabudike in law school. He met me in law school. I was a senior. He didn't pretend to be a Liberian citizen. He used to like argument. He used to like to get involved in everything that was going on there. And we were leaders in the law school. Those were my last years in the law school. And he participated in discussion, not as a Liberian, but as a Nigerian. He never one day pretended to be a Liberian.
Oh.
Yes. I interacted with him. You know, so I think the whole thing about becoming a Liberian when it came to his mind when he decided that, look, instead of going back to Nigeria, I will stay here and practice law. I think I can make it in Liberia. I think that's when he started thinking about citizenship. But he never was, and the Bar Association took the right decision. The Bar Association only expelled him from being a member of the Bar Association. If he is dissatisfied, let him go to court. But he doesn't want to report himself to court.
Okay.
Yeah, let him take the bar to court. The bar says you cannot be a member of our organization because you lie in the first place, and you are not a Liberian. So whether you are a member of the bar, you are a member of the legal profession, you can practice before Supreme Court. All of that one that doesn't concern the Bar Association. The Bar Association is concerned about regulating the activities and the practice of law by its members.
Correct.
So they say, Mr. Nwabudike, you have not proved to us that you are a citizen. We asked you to come, you didn't come, so you forfeited all your rights.
Correct.
In yourself, and to disagree with us, so we are expelling you. And that's what the bar did. There is no trouble, there is no issue there. We have a court.